Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about whether or not Lamar Jackson will stay with the Baltimore Ravens. Despite the fact that Lamar Jackson has won an MVP, the Ravens have not extended Lamar Jackson to a contract extension. In fact, it seems like the Ravens might not want to even keep Lamar Jackson if the price ends up being too high for them. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Will Lamar Jackson stay on the Ravens? And what I will say to that question is it depends on how much the Baltimore Ravens are willing to pay Lamar Jackson. Look, this is what we know about Lamar Jackson. We know that Lamar Jackson is a good quarterback. We know that Lamar Jackson is a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League. We know that Lamar Jackson has won an MVP. We know Lamar Jackson has won a playoff game. We know Lamar Jackson is one of the greatest running quarterbacks to have ever done it. We know that Lamar Jackson modeled his play style after Michael Vick. These are the things that we know about Lamar Jackson. And it's a lot of good things that we know about Lamar. But what we also know about Lamar is that he's never going to be a pure passer. He's never going to be a pure pocket passer. He's not going to be in the tier of Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to be in the tier of Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to be in the tier of Tom Brady. But what we do know about Lamar Jackson is that, yeah, he's a really good quarterback. And we feel like it should be time for the Baltimore Ravens to pay up Lamar Jackson. But what I would say to that is, if the Baltimore Ravens didn't feel like paying him up after year 3 of his contract, if they didn't feel like he was worthy of that contract after year 4, and even now, what makes you think that the Baltimore Ravens are going to pay Lamar Jackson now? I don't think that's going to happen, especially with Lamar Jackson finishing 2 seasons in a row with an injury. The fact of the matter is this: Lamar Jackson has gotten hurt in year 4 and year 5 of his career. That's how his career has gone the last 2 seasons. I'm not saying whether it's fair. I'm not even saying whether it's right or not. I personally don't think that the Baltimore Ravens are treating Lamar Jackson correctly. But the fact of the matter is this: if the Baltimore Ravens wanted to keep Lamar Jackson around as the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League, they would have done a deal by now. Look, let me make an analogy. Let's talk about relationships for a second. Let's just try to relate this to boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Let's talk about man and woman. Let's say the Baltimore Ravens are the man in this relationship, while Lamar Jackson is the woman in this relationship. Sometimes in a relationship, the woman wants a commitment from the man, and she wants to make sure that the man will go all in with her in terms to make a relationship very successful. And that's what Lamar Jackson wants. Lamar Jackson wants the Baltimore Ravens to commit to him now. He doesn't want the Baltimore Ravens to give him a contract that says, okay, it looks like we're going to be committed, but we're going to be looking at outside options if you don't perform. No, he wants a contract that says, I'm going to be here 5 or 6 years at the bare minimum. I want lots of guaranteed money in this. That's something that the Baltimore Ravens have not been willing to do with Lamar Jackson. They don't want to guarantee a lot of that money, and that's just the reality of the situation. I don't think the Baltimore Ravens are willing to make Lamar Jackson the highest paid player in the National Football League. He's obviously not going to get a Patrick Mahomes-like contract. I don't think many quarterbacks, maybe Joe Burrow gets a $500 million contract. That's just not going to happen. So that's obviously off the table. But let's talk about highest paid player per salary per year. That's what I'm trying to say out here. And right now, Aaron Rodgers currently owns that title. He's currently getting paid $50 million a year. Now, I'm sure Lamar Jackson wants to topple that, because he's going to say, I'm younger than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is 39. He's going to be turning age 40 sooner rather than later, and he might not have too many years left in him. Meanwhile, I'm in the smack dab of the middle of my prime, and I'm already an MVP winner, and we already know that I'm an elite quarterback, or at least that's how he views himself. I personally think that he is an elite quarterback. But the fact of the matter is the Baltimore Ravens, if they're not willing to commit elite money to Lamar Jackson, the fact of the matter is this: they're going to go ahead and franchise tag Lamar Jackson, because they're not going to let him go in the free agency market and get nothing in return. I mean, they could do that theoretically, and then everybody would roast the Baltimore Ravens for malpractice of how they handled the Lamar Jackson situation. So here's what I got happening. The Baltimore Ravens, they're going to franchise tag Lamar Jackson. And what they're going to do is they're going to franchise tag him, and then they're going to call some teams and say, who wants Lamar Jackson? then they're going to go ahead and give Lamar Jackson up to the highest bidder in exchange for multiple draft picks. Ultimately, who do I see Lamar Jackson getting traded to? I think Lamar Jackson ends up getting traded to the Atlanta Falcons. And why do I say the Atlanta Falcons? Well, the Atlanta Falcons, they got a lot of cap space this offseason. They're going to have over $56 million in cap space that's going to be available. So that's going to be a lot of money that the Atlanta Falcons can afford to give up. And as for the draft picks, I know it's a risky move for Atlanta, but as we've known with the Atlanta Falcons, they've struggled to put fans in the seats. Fans have been turning off the Atlanta Falcons the last 5 years. There's been a lot of empty seats. If you're Arthur Blank, the owner of the Atlanta Falcons, you gotta be thinking to yourself, how do I get fans back in the seats? And there's nothing better that he can do than making sure he secures Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a must-watch player. Say what you want about Lamar Jackson, but most fans in the NFL have an opinion on Lamar Jackson, whether it is good, whether it is bad. He is one of the most polarizing players in the National Football League, and he's going to make sure that people are going to watch the Atlanta Falcons. He's going to be must-watch TV. So in Arthur Blank's mind, he's going to say he's going to get the deal done, and I don't care what you're going to give up. You look at what the Houston Texans and the Cleveland Browns did with the DeSean Watson offer. The Cleveland Browns gave up a ton of draft picks for DeSean Watson, and he's a serial predator, potentially speaking anyways. Lamar Jackson doesn't have any off-the-field transgressions. He doesn't have red flags flying out there. I mean, for the most part, Lamar Jackson is a good citizen in the United States. It's not like Lamar Jackson has committed any crimes as far as I'm concerned. So if you're the Atlanta Falcons, I think they're going to give up 3 first-round picks, and I think they're going to give up 6 draft picks in total. Let me tell you guys what they're going to give up. They're going to give up the 8th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. That's their first round that they have this upcoming draft that's coming up for them. And then they're going to give up a 2024 first rounder and a 2025 first rounder. So that's what the Falcons are going to give up. But wait, they're not going to be done giving that up, because they're going to give up a 2024 second round pick and a 2024 fourth round pick. But wait, it's going to be even more, because the Falcons, to sweeten the deal, is going to go ahead and throw a 2025 third round pick. So in total, the Baltimore Ravens are going to be receiving 6 draft picks in return for Lamar Jackson. I think the Atlanta Falcons, they're going to go all in on Lamar Jackson. And not only that, they're going to go ahead and give him a huge extension. They're going to give him a 6-year deal, and it's going to be $320 million. 220 of it will be guaranteed. It's going to be a monstrous deal. Lamar Jackson is going to get paid $53.3 million per year. That's going to be the contract that the Atlanta Falcons will end up giving to Lamar Jackson. And more importantly for Lamar Jackson, he's going to get a lot of guarantees in that contract. He's going to secure the bag. He's going to make sure that he's going to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. That's what he's going to do. I think the Atlanta Falcons will be desperate enough to do that, because they need to put fans in the seats. So if you're Arthur Blank, you're going to say, this might seem risky, but it's worth doing, because I haven't had a good quarterback in Atlanta for quite a while. I know that I had Matt Ryan in that MVP caliber season that he had in 2016, but it's been a good while. I need to get fans in the seats. Too many fans have been leaving games in Atlanta. I need to put fans back in the seats. What a better way to do that than to trade for Lamar Jackson. The fact of the matter is, desperate teams do desperate things, and that's what I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to end up doing. That means Lamar Jackson is not going to stay on the Ravens, because the Baltimore Ravens, although they want him, they're not necessarily in the must-have, must-keep Lamar Jackson at all costs kind of mentality. The Baltimore Ravens are going to trade Lamar Jackson for the right price. If someone is willing to give up that much draft capital, and if someone else is willing to pay him that much, the Baltimore Ravens are going to say they're going to go ahead and ship Lamar Jackson off. They like Lamar Jackson, but they don't love Lamar Jackson that much. That's the fact of the matter. That's what I see happening. So that is why Lamar Jackson will not stay on the Ravens, as he will end up being franchise tagged and traded to the Atlanta Falcons in exchange for multiple first-round picks. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and @SportsGuyTalking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.